office?
Yeah,
And?
I did. I don't know yet. We'll talk about it.
Motherfucker.
And we're back with another episode of Jacquescast. Today we have special guest Oriah Love with us from Geek Farms. He is the gentleman behind the Doctor Who everybody loves so much. Took the seed from Odie, Homegrown Natural Wonders, and absolutely blows it up in a magical way. Also other things we'll get into. Last couple episodes, the sound has been a little messy. I'm going to admit I did figure out I've been recording using the microphone from the camera and not from the actual microphones. So,
yay!
Thanks. Yeah, I feel real good about it.
How'd you feel when you discovered it?
Dumb. Dumb is the word.
That aha moment where we were like,
it wasn't even aha. It was just a face palm.
You think it'd be a good stereo mix?
Yeah.
I can't believe it did as good as it did.
It did all right. It tricked me enough to think I was screwing up really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
That camera's 10 feet from the middle of this table.
Yeah. That's why we could pick up birds chirping and my dog walking by, but not voices. You know, God forbid. So anyways, Eugene, Oregon, sitting outside. It's hot, smoking meats once again.
Yep.
And so we've kind of been chatting about Oriah and the things that he does. Mike just put up a picture of one of the things that I would say that a lot of people envy you for is your ability to keep a very manicured, very tight, very level canopy. So let's say I were to go in with a level and level your canopy. Where you at, man? Or is this all camera angle trickery?
Well, do you use like a big barber shear? Go down?
Laser level around the room?
Now, what I do actually, like as far as like maintaining one particular height through the whole thing, is you get yourself a plant stake, you know, and
is this IP?
Put yourself. Well, no, it's just basic stuff, honestly. Like, yeah. Anyway, stake and get yourself some masking tape or duct tape or whatever, and just mark on the stake what height you want all your plants to be, you know, and then you take that and. You take that and, you use that as your guide marker, you know, for your tweaking and training.
Nice.
But you force the plants to behave.
You ask them to.
You ask them.
You suggest it.
Oh, okay.
And you suggest it again until they do, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, but like the key is like asking and suggesting light enough to where that they will.
So you just don't use the bamboo stake to pound them into submission?
No. Not usually.
I like how it was just a hard no.
No. Not usually, honestly.
So I've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The aggressive method gets you crying, buds. They cry.
It was for whipping.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they, you know, like each strain is different, though. Like that's part of the thing. Is you have to learn like how easily that they'll move, you know. Let's see, like for example, Doctor Who, she is the queen of my heart just because she literally is so rad in almost every way that like, yeah, she's amazing. She's just incredibly forgiving of no matter what you do, pretty much. Like, things are going to turn out pretty rad anyway, you know? But her structure is such to where that, like, you can really move her branches, and they'll stay where you put them almost the first time, you know?
Right.
Wow.
And versus, like, headband, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole lot longer, more like OG-like structure, right? And you have to suggest the plants to move in a lighter fashion. And when I'm saying suggest, really I'm talking about bending the plants, right? But not in any one particular focused spot. You know, like that's one thing that I think a lot of people make the mistake of, like, you know, trying to torque, you know, a particular branch at like one point, you know, so it bends hard or it breaks. You know, like that's how you just slow stuff down, you know. And
no, a lot of guys come back and they do the same place every day. They'll just rub that same spot, thinking that they're doing
Yeah,
training,
and
you're thinking it's the whole.
Yeah, like really, if you just think of the branch as a whole thing, and so really, like you can move a branch down, or to the left, or even up, right, by just bending them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just like slowly bend it, basically across the whole thing. You know, and.
So no, just one hard, solid break and let it grow a knuckle.
Yeah,
With
no,
the
yeah.
stick, just whack.
Oh, I do it though. You know, like
Yeah,
Right there.
which a lot of people do. And
I'll massage the inside of the stem. I'll break it up in there, and I'll just
Yeah,
flop
let
it
it
over.
fall.
For sure.
Massage and make
Yeah.
it nice and smooth.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the
soft and then
plant
just bend
doesn't
it right
like
over.
it necessarily.
Yeah.
but
I
it's
loves it.
it's effective.
yeah,
But you get that
for sure.
knuckle,
That's
that
what I'm saying. Like
knuckle.
everybody can do. You know, there's lots of different ways to you know, get a similar result. You know,
Yeah.
but most of the time, whenever I do anything really focused, it's when I want to like take a branch that's maybe facing kind of up and down, like as far as like the branching, right? And I want it to be sideways and vertical, you know, to fill the spot. So, like, that's the time where you can kind of take like one spot and do like a little bit of the twist, like an action, just until you barely feel it snap,
Right.
you know, which is just that inner,
Yeah.
right? So you can turn it, barely feel it snap, then it'll, you know, sit
Right where you want it.
right where you want it, and
it'll
like
hold
that.
it. What's causing it to hold with Headman or with Doctor Who versus other
Just,
things?
stem rigidity. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah, what kind of force it takes to move them for one, but then two, like, what kind of force that they can take before they break
Before
in
they
one
snap.
particular spot. You know?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so like the Who, you can just torque her around. You know
Right,
what I mean?
push it
Like,
where you want it.
yeah, put it right where you
Right.
want it. Honestly,
Right.
You know, like, yeah, like that's one of the main things. Is like, you take a plant that already has some pretty good structure, right?
Right.
But you have a gap over here, right? And you got a cluster of branches over here. So you'll take one of the branches from the cluster that's in the wrong spot and lay it over and fill that gap, you know?
Right.
And then you basically go around your whole plant and lay the whole thing out in a fairly symmetric type pattern,
Right,
you know?
right.
And it really doesn't matter if you have 4 branches to work with or 5 branches to work with or 3 branches to work with, right?
Right.
Just lay them out in a symmetrical pattern, but just don't break them, you know? Like, yeah, ease the branch over through like multiple
Passes.
passes, if
Yeah.
you will, you know, just
Yeah.
like,
Each day a little.
yeah, just a little bit of bending, and then see where it sits, and then a
Right.
little bending, and see where
Who
it
has
sits.
the heavy
you know?
hand out there?
No comment.
Who's the ham-fisted SOB?
Yeah.
Is it Sam?
No, Sam has a light touch.
Does he?
Lighter than you
I
think,
would not have
you know?
guessed that.
Yeah.
It's the years of glass.
Well, it depends on what he's doing. You know,
Right,
he's
right. 'Cause
um,
he's kind of a grip it and rip it.
he's the thinning master for that.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
So
Huh. That
So
only
it's
leaves,
not all Photoshop.
that only leaves a few people.
no, yeah, honestly, like, it's actually one of my favorite parts of growing cannabis is laying them out in the kind of way, you know, so that they almost look like one of those like what's the word? I don't know, like a savanna tree or
Oh,
something.
right.
You know, like they go up and then
They just kind of lay.
you know,
yeah.
flat canopy goes out.
Yeah.
You know,
I
For
like-
anybody
I like-
out there that doesn't know what we're talking about, go check out the Geek Farms
Yeah.
social media stuff. And if you think your canopy game's on point,
Well, today he posted, right? We
Yeah.
saw that you posted, and some guy posted below it that he had the same game, and the whole room was just
like a fun house.
Right. I was
sometimes
like,
it's hard with different strains, though. You
I
know, like
but don't
Sure.
post that you're on point when you're all over the road. You know, what's the nightmare strain for that?
we're all learning. I
Is it
think you know.
headband? Who's the most resistant? Like, I ain't gonna do it.
No, honestly,
Lucy's Line and Ringo's Gift.
yeah, things that are super like long gapped and spindly, like are definitely tougher. You know,
Yeah.
to get to do that bush type shape. You know,
Right.
They just won't. They just
Well,
grow
they
like
would-
ivy. You have to train them along
They will,
the
but
trellis.
you gotta kind of like top them a number of times to like
I was gonna ask that at what point.
beef up that like lower branches.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, really. Like I think a lot of this nerding out on like plant shape and stuff came from when I was in middle school and high school. I had a whole lot of, well, not a whole lot, maybe like 20 or 40 at various points, but a whole lot of bonsai trees. You know that. Yeah, if I wasn't skateboarding, I was probably smoking weed, staring at my bonsai trees. You know, like
planning your next
like
move.
literally, yeah, just like standing out there in the yard. You know, I
Yeah.
got friends all over the place, and I'm just over there ripped as fuck, looking at my tree, barely moving it. You know,
Yeah.
turning it, looking at it from this way and shit.
So
you know?
that's what kind of maybe crucible down to what you're doing now.
Well, that has some influence, I
Oh,
do
yeah.
think. You know, just
When-
as far
when
as
did
my
you-
interest.
When did you discover growing? When did you realize I can grow dope?
When I got in a car wreck and hurt my back, and I didn't want to take any of the pharmaceutical pain meds that they were
Right.
giving me, and I was just smoking a whole lot of weed.
Right.
You know,
And you realized it worked.
and well, yeah, definitely. Which like I've been smoking, you know, since I was like 14 or 15, and you know, for the most part, anyway. You know, but
And you turned out a great guy.
right, imagine that.
Right.
You know,
Right. So what was your first grow like? Because we had John on here, and he grew in what, a speaker box
Yeah.
with a shop light.
yeah, yeah. My first grow wasn't terrible, but I set off in like a couple weird directions. You know, like the first couple.
Manifold.
Yeah, you know, like I think the very first one I did was in soil and was with some organic amendments. Really like a whole lot of good stuff, but really I just took home what the shop dude told me to take home.
Oh,
you know?
right, classic. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like,
that's what
I-
he's on to. He passes it to you.
Yeah, and it was really just like a lot of like dry amendments and stuff that I use now. You know, we
Right.
use now really.
Well, you got lucky.
Yeah, but then right after that, I found this forum where this dude was using this, what are they called, hydro farm bucket or something, right?
Yeah.
Like the bubble buckets?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bubble
yeah.
buckets,
Bubble
dude.
bucket.
I started reading some forums where dudes were just ripping fat weight in those.
Yeah, they work.
with
Yeah.
scrogs.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh, yeah.
you know, so I started experimenting with that for a little while, and yeah, like they throw hard weight, you know, or at least they did in comparison to my previous grow.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
which both of these were just in like a 5x6 walk-in closet that my wife so generously
Let
gave
you
up.
have- yeah. Right.
Yeah, you know.
How'd you ventilate it?
So funny enough, there's an in-ground pool that's like starts at 3 foot and goes to like 5 foot that got covered up when the addition of my house got put onto it.
Oh.
And so right under that walk-in closet is a hatch door where there's just an in-ground pool.
Wow.
And then right above it
Dude, that's kind of fucking
Is-
baller.
is the hatch.
It's
Right.
just 3 foot. So it's like a
Yeah, well,
crawl
like
space.
yeah, it's like a crawl space, and it's like a sloped pool, you know,
Right.
with just like, yeah, you know, just like basic, you know, exposed insulation and shit. Like, it's not like really a cool thing. Although, like when we first bought the house, we thought it was super cool, and we put carpet and you know, some like ball pit balls like down in there.
I want to
the
live with
alligator.
you guys.
Not many, you
Yeah,
know. Like the
okay.
idea was that like we'll fill it with fucking ball pit balls. And,
Right.
But yeah,
I
that's
don't
when we
know.
were like 21.
It's actually starting to sound kind of creepy to me
It
now.
really-
well, so like it was creepy because you know, you could lock people down there if you
I was gonna
fucking
say,
wanted
did you-
to.
yeah, you start
You know,
buying tie downs.
Get down there, you know, and yeah. Anyway, so that got used to bring fresh air in,
Right.
and right above it was the hatch for the attic, and so I just fucking plugged a
In and out.
yeah
Wow.
a fucking fan going out, and I built like a wooden riser platform inside the wooden closet. Yeah.
It's
So
it's the Scooby.
yeah, I'm ripped.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Doghouse Scooby got me ripped as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's a creeper.
So good, dude.
It's a creeper weed.
Anyway, built a wooden platform down, and I drilled holes through the whole thing, like with the idea that like the cold air intake, I wanted it, coming evenly, across the whole space rather than from just one spot,
Right.
And really, like that was all the air movement that I had. Really, was just air coming up through these holes.
Right.
It was actually pretty good movement. With a 400 CFM fan going out.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So I experimented in there a few times, going from soil and then bubble buckets, and then I went back to soil. And so yeah, that was
What kind of nutrients were you using with your bubble buckets?
Yeah.
Did you go all the way to the dark side?
20.
So basically, I used Florinova Bloom
Yeah.
from
Oh, I know.
There it
veg
is.
to flower the whole time.
Oh,
Nothing.
You hacked their system.
The whole time, nothing but Florinova Bloom, dude. And it just
Wow.
like cranked super healthy plants that were fat fucking yielding. Well, I wouldn't say like super. I don't know. Like they seemed really healthy at the time. There was no major deficiencies. And stuff.
Right. Do you think that was like, because we've talked about this, where we look back on weed that you grew. Was it just like Adam says, rose-colored glasses? Like, do you think it'd be as good now compared to what we do now?
Not the hydros. No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, none of it is as good as I can grow now, but only
Right.
because I've learned a lot since
Well,
then,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But my old weed is a lot newer and with more information available to me than some people's old weed,
Right.
And
Yeah, you start
on.
talking about airflow and a new grow, and I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
wow, my first airflow was none.
None.
yeah,
Right.
I had an office fan in there.
Right.
Yeah.
The clip-on ones.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
got 2 clip-ons.
Just blowing around stagnant air.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Loved
Right.
it.
No intake. Just
Well,
blowing the
I
same.
wanted to make sure my buds didn't dense up, like
Oh,
as
you were-
much as possible. Didn't want them
Yeah.
dense. Yeah, no, I hate that. I hate extra weight on my plants.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the
Right.
spindliest,
Yeah.
mad. It's
It's
100
easier to trim.
degrees in there with stale wind blowing around.
Right.
Totally.
Chronic.
with the shop light.
Yeah.
I'm running 8
Fluorescence.
T5s
Yeah, sure, why not?
from Coast to Coast Hardware.
But back in the day, you were kind of well known on the growing forums
Yeah.
for being on there. Even some would say a cult celebrity on such forums.
Ha.
Which one?
Well, so there was an Oriah or Orion, something like that. Somebody on Overgrow back in the day. Mm-hmm. That was not me.
Oh,
Like-
really?
Oh.
Yeah, like I was never on. Never on Overgrow. My first forum experience was on Roll It Up. You know what I mean? And that's
Wow.
where like I first started posting. That's where I first like got into an online community of growers. So that right there, is
So you were one of those
I don't
guys
know,
where
something.
you saw your icon and it was like platinum level. God has contributed 10,000 articles. Was that you?
too.
Like, well, no, on like several of the forums I would go on, it would list out that person's work. Like they've answered this many questions, they've offered this many posts. Were you a big poster? Were you?
I was when I got on to Roll It Up.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
And were you just fielding stupid questions, or did you go hard, go deep?
Well, so really, like, I got on, and for like the first year, I just read and read
Right.
and read and
Lurking.
read. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Learn
was
the Lucas method.
well when I was doing the hydro farm buckets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I read about it, but then I read that basically Florinova Bloom the whole time is the exact same thing.
Is it?
That's what I read. So that's what I
Handy.
did because it was easier.
Need to get some Flora Nova Bloom.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think I want that.
I fired my arrow back up.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I did.
beautiful.
Yeah, I got some sample newts to use, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
that thing has been dusty for a long,
For
it's the
sure, yeah.
Aeroflow 36, but I'm limited with my plants, so I'm just filling a few holes on it. But rocking and rolling with that thing now. I'm gonna grow some Colin Gordon's gear in it. So I thought if I'm gonna be growing cookies, I might as well grow it hydro.
Grow it hydro.
I think she prefers it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. Check out. Yeah, I don't know. You know, don't want to like sales pitch for.
No,
You know,
I like
for
how he
hydro,
was
but,
like,
it's just
check
so
out.
easy.
Wait, what am I saying?
Hold on, back out.
So, from what we've learned today, Geek Farms uses just flower or hydro bloom.
Florinova
Florinova.
Bloom.
Florinova
Yeah.
bloom.
That's the secret tonic, so that
Yeah.
everyone knows. You can go out there
Yeah.
and copy that. Yeah.
and terpinated.
Right.
Lots of
He's like
terpinated.
every
Bill's
grower
Grill.
in the state start using this.
No, not really. That's not nice. No.
right. Right.
It's not nice for all sorts of reasons.
No.
So you guys have used in the past, and I'm thinking of it. You've used BioBiz. What
We
happened?
did
What
try
happened?
that for a little minute. What happened? What do you mean?
What, they're not being sold right now.
I don't know a squat about that.
Okay.
In reality, but I do know that we tried it for a little bit.
Was that the Gorilla?
The
outdoor?
Gorilla Glue that we
Yeah.
did in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember
was
that.
was
That was crazy.
you know,
Yeah.
for a good chunk the BioBiz, but to be honest, like in reality, it was really expensive.
Yes.
I thought like
Yes.
really expensive.
It is expensive.
And I'm one of those dudes that like I can't help it. The first thing I do is turn it over and look at the ingredients and look at what it is. You know, it's like what is the magic sauce that's in this that
Right.
makes it,
It's
you know,
soy.
$500 a gallon or
Yeah,
something
well, yeah,
like
but yeah.
insane.
Yeah. The bio heaven.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of well, yeah.
Well, and they add water to it, and water's expensive.
That's what I
Well,
mean.
it's,
Like the bulk of it is some things that you could probably get cheaper and with water added to it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we definitely used it largely, in my opinion, because we got it to test and try,
Right,
you know, at the
right.
time for the shop and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a free pallet of BioBiz
Yeah.
that we used.
Yeah,
to.
so we
Same
used
deal.
it, you know.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, it worked great.
Yeah.
Great.
It worked super good,
Yeah.
mainly, you know, because it's just good inputs, you know. But
I don't think cost-wise it scales well.
No.
Not at all. Yeah, like the amount that we just had to use for the greenhouse was a lot, you know, for like that many plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where that, to be honest, like I used it at like half strength, if that, like the whole time,
And you're
just
still
to like
going through it.
like yeah, try to like extend how many actual feedings that we were going to get out of it, you know. Yeah, so that got mixed in with like teas and various other
Now you're a big,
other
down,
things.
big
you know.
down to earth guy.
Personally,
That's your jam.
Yeah,
No, no,
dude,
it's all good.
I love down to earth.
Yeah.
you know, just as far as like the ingredients
What's your
in their
favorite
raw forms.
favorite product in that line?
Probably the BioLife, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would
Just
order
'cause
for you.
it's so
I would order
easy,
for you,
yeah.
and I would always see 55-pound bag.
Yeah.
BioLife.
Yep.
I'm like, that's Oriah.
It's just so easy, you
The
know, like
nitrogen-rich guano is also
dude,
fantastic.
lots
No.
of their stuff is phenomenal.
Are they? Did
Like,
they do
That stuff will just save a plant. Though you get a plant that's looking bad, you just top dress some of that water and then give it a week, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's perfect again.
Yeah, it's just
It's good
instant
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
You know, which is yeah. Like that's the thing I like about it is if you know what to do with all of the ingredients, like you can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, whether you need like an instant release of nitrogen or if you want a long-term slow release, you know, or
Right.
if you need an instant release of whatever, you know, like that's all in raw dry form that
Yeah.
you know, you can
and they're
use
just
really
solidly
easily.
good people too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
dude.
is nice to
They're just-
support.
Totally.
Yep. Yeah,
You also
so they're
went
my
through
favorite.
a lot of Agmino.
Agmino, down to earth again,
Agmino,
yeah.
Man. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's our like
Good
instant
stuff.
water soluble nitrogen that like
Yeah.
just rocks.
Yeah.
You know, like
So in your growing style, how much exists in the soil when you start your plants, and how much do you add? I don't want you to give away your secret sauce, but
yeah.
No,
how
give away
much-
your secret sauce?
So like
You ain't
most
gonna
of it is in the soil at this point, you know.
yeah.
But that's because we've just been building and refining our soil recipe. You know, be like, okay, well, we want this, you know, to last a little bit longer, you know, or we want this at this stage, you know. It's like, and then we go to the raw ingredients, you know, and be like, okay, like,
Which one falls out at this point?
yeah, like let's add some of this, you know, so that we get it, you know. So really, like a solid chunk is in the base oil already, actually, you know. But between that and the charged soil, right? You know, which is got some different things in it, you know.
That you will never know.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like more, yeah, like
Yeah.
really it's just basic stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like more flower type nutrients and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, a little
Basic
bit of,
stuff, but dialed in.
Really-
you know,
really
and that
dialed in.
is in this industry.
Yeah.
Anybody can have a map of what to do, but have you driven that road 500 times and know exactly?
And,
Right.
Yeah, predictability. And,
yeah, it's a
that's-
process.
That's
you know,
where
to work it out.
the value of that comes from. You know, like anybody can be like, "Oh yeah, I use Subcool Super Soil."
Right.
Well, great,
I
it
use
works
Coot
fine,
Mix.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't come out anything like
Right.
Geek Farm stuff
Right.
comes
But I'm
out.
sure you're strain specific on that too. You know that the Doctor Who wants this and
Yeah.
the Batman wants that.
Yeah, to a degree, you know what I mean? Like, more so depending on when they want different things, you know?
Yeah.
Because largely, like, one of the things about our soils, we have a lot of different components in it, you know what I mean? There's different sources for each,
phase of
yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah, different sources for each nutrient. So it's more like, you know, like a nutrient buffet for the plant, right? And when it's all broken down and stuff, it's just kind of chilling in there available,
Right.
but it's not going to jump down the plant's fucking throat, you know?
Right.
Like, they're going to get to pick what they want, you know? So,
when they need it.
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it's more about, like, timing with a chunk of the strains, you know, as far as, like, and ratios, really, too. You know, like, some plants don't want, like, hardly any food, you know, until X time, and then others want, like, a whole bunch right out the gate, you know?
Well, when trying new strains back in the day, one thing I would do is feed them a very neutral feeding regimen.
Yeah,
And I would
sure,
watch
yeah.
the plant and I would journal when it started to get deficient. Obviously, you don't ever want your plants to get deficient when they're
But
growing.
you
It
gotta
kinda-
learn.
Totally.
But you just keep a journal. Okay, it's deficient then, and then make yourself a guide.
Right, it's
for
bound to
this.
happen, so you...
Yeah, this
Right.
specific plant has a roadmap, and I
Right,
know
right.
at this week I want to add this, and at this
100%.
week, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, you can the fact that you guys do that with soil and premeditate everything that you're
Right.
doing and have it planned out in this industry with the way a lot of people growing nowadays is like leaps and bounds above what I see happening. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of forcing it down the plant's fucking throat
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Cram it in, dude.
Well, and I would see people that would come in the store, they would build a super soil, and then they would turn around and just push newts. And I'd be like, you're building a 600-pound man that's not going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
Like, you just, you know, you're not really doing what you think.
Right, yeah.
You're wasting money.
Well, you mean you don't build a super soil and then just feed it cutting edge the whole time?
The whole time.
Hard as you can?
Right.
Turned
Hard.
up to
There's
11?
a lot
Right.
of people that do.
They
that.
do. They do.
Yeah. You can
Well,
do it
you may
lots of
get the
ways.
weight, but I think it hurts the integrity of your product.
It does. And then but some of those same people will be like, yeah, this just tastes so heady. Well, yeah. I don't know.
Everybody's got different taste buds, though,
Yeah.
for one, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, what's great to one person's not
Yeah.
going to be not so great to another.
I don't like
But
a lot of bone meal in my smoke.
personally, I think the, like, liquid bone meal force
Right.
is like, a little bit
It's pushy.
over the top.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of being a dick.
And for me, like, I feel like it makes a lot of people's weed kind of smoke real similar.
Right. That's
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
like,
Yeah.
like,
no. It's like,
you
I
know,
can
like
tell,
they pushed a whole lot of liquid bone meal,
Right.
and you can tell by the chunk.
He's
You can-
judging me.
You can tell by the weight.
I'm currently being judged.
Well, we're
No,
getting
I'm
around
not
to you.
pointing anything.
We're getting around to you.
No fingers whatsoever.
At least
Like,
it got you off
for
the
sure,
cow, man.
it has its place, like, and
Yes.
it's needed. You know, like, and
So you mean the last 2 weeks you just don't push bone meal as hard as you can?
yeah, it's the flushing with it.
Yeah.
You know, or like.
Flush with your, yeah.
Yeah, you can just keep using this right up to harvest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you know what will happen? You will
Taste
way out. You know,
Right.
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Rocks.
you'll make 4 pounds of light or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll smoke
So
like that too.
speaking of
What
weight
is- yes,
per
yes,
light
we
and
argued
things
this.
like that, there is
We've heard legends of you.
yeah.
12
I've heard a
pints per
couple
light.
legends I want to talk about. One, I heard that I remember you pulled off a grow at the farm in like an 8-foot room with gavitas, and just rode that throttle.
That was blue. Yeah, that was this blue building where
the old one.
Yeah, the old blue building, not the new blue
Not
building.
the blue. Yeah, the old one.
The old blue. It was a different location, and I just let's see.
How many lights? How many lights was that?
I think each room started off with 12 lights, but we took it down to 8.
Right.
And
8
then
feet.
there at the very end, we threw in some plasmas, to get in more blue.
Did you garden on your knees?
I did, bro. Yeah, dude. I made the whatever it was, 15 by 20, wall to wall donks was my goal.
Right.
Right. And in an 8-foot room, that means they have to be at like 5 foot or so, which means I crawled through tunnels, down the
You're a little rabbit hole.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
With
like a briar patch.
with my 5-gallon bucket on a little rolly wheel.
I was gonna say, did you have a little tram someone could pull in case you got?
Yeah, I just rolled my bucket like through my tunnels, dude,
Yeah.
and that's how
awesome.
I'd water.
That's
and
awesome.
like all the thinning would happen like sitting down underneath the canopy and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Now,
really,
did you
like,
stress out about the
I
light?
dialed that spot in.
Yeah.
Just as far as like really, like, I was super lucky, and I'm super thankful for Mike and Andrew to put me in that spot, like relatively early in my going and helping them. They're like,
I
okay,
hate you, but I love you.
here's this spot, go and like see what you can do largely, and dude, I learned so much by myself, like in those rooms, learning Doctor Who, and learning training methods and learning, thinning methods and all these various things, and yeah, Mike and Andrew would come over and be like, okay, so you need to do this and this and this,
Right.
and be like, okay, I'll take that and,
Got it.
learn it and expand. And so really it was a magical time for me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
What was that, like 2 years ago?
yeah, it was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we moved out of that spot.
Sounds really Alice in Wonderland-y.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
How long would you hang out under the canopy? Could anybody see you when you were under there? And did you take breaks under there? Just be like, oh, that
Take a
just
nap
took
for a
that
little
just
bit?
took an extra long time, but really you're just curled up in a corner somewhere.
Around it.
No, like really, there was a lot to do. That's not to say for sure. I think a time or two.
It just
for
sounds
my
like a
break-
rad place to sleep.
Yeah, for my break, I did lay down and just look up at the canopy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like gaze off and be like, "This is my fucking life right now."
Right.
Like this.
Getting your head around
This
that.
is a dream.
Wow.
And so, yeah, just but yeah, like I learned a whole lot in those rooms, and for me personally, like I was really stoked the day that we hit 2.5 pounds per light of our size nuggets.
Right.
In my opinion,
Right.
most people's size nuggets, it'd have been like 3 pounds.
Right.
As far as like trimmed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for us, like nothing smaller than a quarter goes into the finish spot bin, right? So, yeah, like
So
It-
is that your best weight?
Yeah. Well, that was
well-
my next question is, we've heard rumors of a 3-pound light.
yeah, that's not our farm's best weight. No, we have with like with our new rooms and stuff, we've definitely taken lots of steps up, since then.
Yeah.
And really, like, it was a little bit of a training and learning curve and adventure going to more smaller plants versus like rooms of like
Monsters.
big old like Oregon style
Yeah.
monsters, right? So that like took a little bit of learning difference, but in reality, like once we get this tech more dialed in,
Yeah. It's hard to. Like,
So that's one of my complaints right now because I love growing small. I like multiple smaller plants.
Yeah.
I love it.
you end up with huge
And
buds.
I'm here. I'm just growing medical for myself, right?
Right.
And I think I brought this up last week, but I'm going to bitch about it again.
Yeah, do it.
Make it square footage for
Yeah. I
agree
medical
with you.
grows. You know,
Yeah.
like don't force me to grow 6 fucking trees.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
let me grow in 100 square feet or something. Like,
Right.
give me space to grow, not plant count.
Right.
Let's start a petition.
Yeah.
Let's take it. Nobody's sticking up for medical anymore, anyways. We might as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Everybody else gets to do square footage. It only makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, like, at the same time, part of me is like, I'd kind of want the option, though. Like, and I know that's a dream world, obviously. You
Why?
don't.
Why though? Like, why
Like,
can't you just?
you
put on your
either grow in
license?
100 square feet and you can grow as many as you want, or you
I
can
mean,
grow them bigger and grow
indoor-
6 plants or whatever.
Indoor,
you know?
you're really going bigger than 16 square foot per plant.
Do what?
Indoors, 16 square foot per plant has always been kind of my like.
Footprint.
That's as much as I want to put.
That's
Yeah.
a big plant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you're at 16 foot per square plant times 6. You know, like
That's a chunk of space.
yeah.
Yep.
So give us that much space.
Yeah.
You know, for
Yeah.
flowering, and then double it for veg and call it a day. Like
Totally.
let us play still and let us do things.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
They have torqued back on us so hard on the medical side, going from you can have unlimited vegging plants to, you know, you can have a few.
yeah, that was a hell of a
24.
jerk.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
You
was
know, I was
getting
like,
so excited, like I
"No!"
can start saving all of these genetics
Right,
that
you
I
can keep yours stable.
Yeah, well, I've got
Yeah.
an addiction,
You're-
and it's
you're
a plant
liable.
collection addiction.
I understand.
and-
But as a breeder, you should be able to walk in and be like, I want a little of that, little of that, and it should all be there.
yeah,
I don't understand why this is happening.
Because they're not on the level.
No.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
They're
common
trying to
sense.
kill it.
Well,
No, and I think they learned how to grow from Google.
That's to be expected, I think, really, though, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, it's a battle, kind of.
Being a breeder right now
Now,
is-
isn't that how you guys met?
in the legal space is difficult to really do what it is that you need
Yeah.
to do, because really the only way you're going to get the plant counts to properly pheno hunt your stuff is either get a group of medical growers together that are going to help
Yep.
you with their 6 or whatever,
Right.
or run it under your OLCC license and you're growing a room of 200 300 different plants
Right.
that are all the same genotype, but they're
Yep.
all different phenotypes, and you really can't sell it as, you know.
Anything, yeah.
That's
So
what
a
we-
lot of the work they do, you know, they do the numbered genetics, which I actually love.
Yeah.
The head doctor, where I could go to the greener side and get the flight.
For
you
sure,
know, I
yeah,
did
it's
like
fun,
that.
I think.
Yeah. But it's hard to make financial sense of that with testing
So,
and
yeah,
everything. And
We're going to end up doing less because of that.
We
Yeah.
just
you
came
know?
out. We just came out of that at Doghouse,
yeah.
where Odie Ray did just a huge pheno hunt with John.
Yeah.
and it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many little bags in the cure room. Just
Yeah.
tiny, they're never gonna see the light. of
Yeah, it's
day.
just hard.
No, we got
Never
you got to
gonna
throw
be-
a $250 test on
right,
on
but
a
it's
few
still in
ounces.
it's still in the inventory,
Yeah.
and you always have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, how, you know,
Gotta do
Put it all
something.
together into one batch.
we can, but I mean, I just keep moving that on the back burner. It's like it's not gonna go
Yeah.
anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
we got what we
well,
wanted.
it's worth significantly less. You know, like
Yeah,
the
oh,
hit
yeah.
that you take
Oh,
from
yeah,
doing
it's
a pheno
embarrassing.
hunt is
Yeah.
like pretty major.
Yeah,
you know?
and then how do you explain that? Like, clearly, it's in. I'm trying to sell it, so it wasn't that great. Like, you know, what I mean, like, you know, their mindset would be like, well, do I want 63 or 42?
But
Which
also,
one's
as a
processed?
breeder and a grower, I don't want to get a seed that is the same every time. If I'm buying a cross from a breeder, I want there to be diversity in those strains so I can pick the one that resonates with me.
Right.
That's what F1s are about.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of F1s.
Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things to grow. You know, F4s or S1s or something like that nowadays, like you can
Is
get
that-
away with doing a run of those as seed and like make
Yeah.
it work. But
Yeah.
F1s, you're just asking to like, you're going to take a hit. You're going to take a
Yeah.
financial hit. Like,
Because you're hunting, yeah.
it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did meet originally
You guys
First-
originally met.
at the Oregon Microgrowers Guild.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
Were
were,
you just rolling off the street?
yeah.
Right.
I
Love them.
believe he knew Chris. Him
Right.
and Chris
I
probably
knew him previously.
probably
yeah.
a Craigslist All-Star sort of thing.
Yeah, dude, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, we were
Backpage.
we were trading plants.
It was Craigslist
for a
was
little-
here in
little
Eugene
while.
and back in the day. You could get hooked into like networks on
Yeah,
Craigslist.
It was pretty.
And the network we had developed on Craigslist was actually full of really cool cats with
Wow.
a diverse catalog of
Lucky.
strains.
Yeah, it was dope.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like now.
Portland, no, and Portland never had that.
It was unique, man.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of trust that had to be had in that group. And like
Right.
you
Right.
knew if somebody was a shithead like right away. And like, but it was a really good resource for things, and I call them Craigslist all-stars, but like Chris West was the fucking
Is that how you met?
pinnacle of
Is that how you met him?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No way.
I traded him.
Me too, yeah.
I traded
Yeah,
him a
wow.
T5 Lite for 4 trays of clones.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
When we did the deal in an Albertsons parking lot.
Love it.
Trunks.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it at night?
No, it was,
Oh.
it was the middle of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago, though.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this dude's putting out mad clones. And so anytime I needed anything, he would keep an updated list of all the different cuttings he had.
Yep.
Because he would travel around and just
I'd
pick
hit him
stuff
up for that list on a regular.
Yeah.
What do you got now, man?
Yeah.
What?
We're like
I need-
fiending,
I need
shaking. Yeah.
What do you got? I want
So when
Ghost
Oriah
OG.
came into the shop, though, we were on the same path but on different rails, you know, and we were both really pushing the CBD thing.
Yep.
and looking
That had
for
to
that.
be bizarre because nobody was doing that.
It was
Yeah, what
hard
year
to,
was
to
that?
find.
Nobody.
Dude.
Yeah. What year? What year?
I can't remember.
I don't know, years ago.
98.
No, not that long. No, maybe.
2005.
It was right around when I first started growing.
Yeah.
So, like,
years, let's just say years ago, so we don't make a
2011,
mistake.
Decade?
12.
Nah.
No, yeah.
It's going to close in on a
6 or
decade before
7.
we know it. But
Yeah. That's not bad.
Somewhere in there.
Still,
But that was
relatively
when I was
recent.
first doing and like locking down CBD.
Right.
I had been playing with the genetics for a while, and that's when I was first like really getting a solid grasp on.
Was there a lot of data out there for you?
Fuck no, there wasn't
So
shit.
No,
what,
man.
at what point did you guys say there's some value to this? Like, where did you even find it
You know the
back then? Was it just like a rumor thing? And you're like, hey, this is like I can turn lead into gold.
Well, so
no.
for me personally, the CBD stuff started because my mother-in-law, she had breast cancer like 3 times already,
Wow.
and she had gotten it again. And so I was like, okay, for one, I gotta help my mother-in-law, but for 2, my wife, like,
Right, would
obviously
be
probably had like a pretty good chance,
predisposed,
of
Yeah.
getting this too. So like,
I gotta get ready.
yeah, when I was first starting to grow, I was reading about CBD and I was reading about battling cancer, you know, and
Right.
that really, yeah, to be honest, that became my driving force for a while, you know.
Yeah.
And at the time, the only plants that I could read about that was really possibly available to me was the harlequin.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
when I first found a shop that had some harlequin flower, I read it online on one of their things, and I drove up to Portland, and I think it was Rose City.
Oh wow.
Wow.
that
They
must
had
be-
some harlequin in there.
Yeah. Or was
And
it Human
I-
Collective?
No.
Human Collective. That's where I found it.
No, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Rose City that I went.
Yeah.
First had some harlequin, and I remember driving back home from Portland and being just pumped, you know, like just so excited that I could bring this, I could bring this back to Kathy and let her try it,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
How
so
did it work?
it worked,
Right.
you know, largely like, see, she wasn't a huge smoker at the time, but she does have like some pretty hard, let's see, what's it called? Rheumatoid arthritis, right?
Right.
And so when she first smoked it, it wasn't that bad, you know, because it was like 5% THC and 7% CBD or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So she didn't really get that high, but she did get a little more comfortable, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And so like that was the start of that. But then relatively soon after, Subcool got the Harlequin cut, right? And he hit that with his Space Dude mail, and he sent out some testers to some of the dudes that were on the Roll It Up forums.
Right.
And one of them was my good homie, Hovering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
about my...
No.
Yeah, so Hovering, one of my favorite growers and favorite people, you know, like he's...
Is that
Yeah.
hovering of
of LB's edibles?
Yes.
Yeah, that's for
Solid
sure.
dude.
Yeah,
I love hanging with him.
he was one of my favorite people to go up to Portland and hang out at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great couple.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah,
Man, and a lot of the work they do, people don't even know about.
for sure. Yeah,
Like they've got their jam, but like
Yep.
behind the scenes,
I love them.
they keep
I
it
love
going.
you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Hovering grew out some of the Harlequin. Yeah. I guess that's about as good as I could say it.
Mm-hmm.
He grew that out, and he found a 1-to-1 pheno, and he gave it to me, and I grew it out, and I met this dude online. He was this crazy old wizard guy that I can't remember his name, but he was really nice, and he was into CBD too, and I sold it. Well, we were both medical, so I took some donations.
Let me clarify.
For the Harlequin, and he knew Adam, and he said to me one day that he told you, or like he brought some flower to you, like of that Harlequin, and said that he wanted me to go in there and meet you, and so I did.
Wow.
And I brought in some Harlequin, and you were like, "Dude, this rocks," and I was like, "Thanks, buddy." And then we just like started geeking on CBD genetics.
That was right at the time. So he's ramping up, right?
Right.
He's coming on the on-ramp and getting
Right.
on the
And
freeway.
you can see him coming.
And here I am getting on the on-ramp, and my shit's starting to fucking, like, I'm getting, because we
Yeah.
were working with different genetics. And
Were
I was
you working with Frank's Gift then?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was right
Yeah.
at the beginning of
He's
that.
ahead of
But
me,
also
for sure.
working with some landrace stuff, and like that was back when I was really coming into my own.
Right.
I had grown CBD stuff, but I hadn't. And I'm not going to say I'm a master of CBD.
You're the king
but,
of
But I
CBD.
was shut up. But I was building my mastery of like what it is and how to breed it and what to do. And at the time when we crossed paths, like the golden age.
Yeah,
That's like when
I
the
bet.
magic started happening,
It
and then
was.
his
Yeah.
energy came into my life, and we're
Right.
like, "Oh, I got this, and I got this,"
Right.
and it wasn't like we were trying to get
No.
money off of it. We were
No,
just
but
like,
you
"Take
realize-
this and try this,"
And
and
we
like,
were
Yeah.
geeking out on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just geeked out hard,
Yeah.
and took it to a level that like I don't think either of us realized that was like a place we could go, and
No,
now
man,
it's
it was
like
so fast, and
now it's like at the point I can sneeze on something and make it CBD dominant, But back
which is
then,
fantastic.
But
Like,
back
that's-
then the struggle was real.
Well, yeah, you didn't
Like,
you didn't know how.
dude.
Also with breeding projects, like understanding how to breed dominance in that way and like what you needed to
time,
do,
yeah.
and like a lot of times it was a lot of like, oh, I got this one right. What did I do? Because these
Right.
ones aren't right.
Right.
You
How-
know?
there's
how
a
to
lot that
do
we're
that.
not.
Yeah.
Were you able to get ratio tests then?
No.
So that's pre-ratio tests.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
I would
at the
have to
very
grow
beginning.
thing all the
Everything
way
out,
out and take
flower
it
it
to what was the name of that lab back then? Sunrise.
Sunrise.
You
Yeah.
flowered males all the way out and getting them tested?
See,
My
and
goodness, that's the work
right,
that
like,
takes.
Just
People don't
waste,
understand
just
what that
wasting
takes.
money.
So, like,
You're
all your-
trying shit.
yeah.
But I had to do it to get
Yeah.
the medicine that Frank needed and that Lenny needed and that Lucy, like all of these
Exactly.
people were counting on me.
Counting.
And so I didn't care. Like I was a man fucking possessed. I didn't
Yeah.
care. Like I was going to do
All
whatever it
costs.
took.
That's what
Yeah.
it took too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've got a library of so much like stuff that will never see the light of day because I don't think anybody cares about CBD as much as I do anymore. But it's like the ratioed stuff, like everybody wants the 30 to 1s or the 50 to 1s or like the 500
Yeah.
to
No
No one
1s
wants
that
the 5 to 1.
Right.
no, nobody wants the 5 to 1s or the 2 to 1s anymore. Not
I do.
Yeah,
Not
right.
yet.
I'm bringing it back, man.
You're
And
gonna
that's-
bring it back, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be my new thing,
Yeah.
starting up a
One of the three
project,
guy.
Legends of CBD. And
Right.
what it is I'm going to who I think are the best breeders and whose strains I like the best. And I'm taking and I'm preserving their snapshot of the plant. So the terpenes,
Nice.
the growth, everything. All I'm doing is changing up the THC and CBD and bringing it to a 1-to-1.
Wow.
And so right now I'm working with Odie's Doctor Who. He
Are you- right,
gave me
right.
the high chew cut. So we got a Who's Frank coming. It's in round 3 right now.
wow.
And then Colin from Ethos, I think we're going to do his Mandarin Sunset.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Really?
And then he hasn't, I asked him, and I think he's still grinding his brain, like, which one do we do for this? So, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do some Oriah action on that as well. And
what would that
For
be?
sure.
What would?
I don't
Well,
think
I
he,
mean-
I don't think he knows.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, so like here's the thing is like I want a bunch of them, right? Like
Right.
I want a whole bunch of different flavors and terpene profiles in various things, which obviously is going to happen just naturally with this guy.
I think what I'm gonna do
But-
though for him that I'm not gonna do for the other people. The other people I'm going to maintain it. With him, what I can do is F1 it and
Right.
just here's a bag of beans for you and a bag of beans of me.
let's see who
Let's-
wins. Yeah.
Let's take a look at what's
Yeah,
under the hood here.
for sure.
You
yeah.
know?
Grow them all.
Yeah. And he's got I mean, as far as breeding goes, you breed, for me, high THC stuff, some of my favorite stuff. Like, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And
Cool,
I
man.
love
Thank
how
you.
you,
That's nice.
you keep your terpenes in a different place than a lot of other breeders. Floral and fruity and soft
Yeah.
and delicious and
Definitely,
not,
it's a signature.
not
It's some of the ones
gasoline
I
and
love,
Right.
though, you know?
Fuel
melting
fire.
plastic. Like,
Yeah.
so
Rubber
when I
bands.
go out, like that Oregon Indigo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
damn, son,
Yeah.
like so good.
Yeah,
like,
we knew that one was going to be good, right? You know, blueberries and like grape lavender. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard to go wrong there,
But-
really. You know?
But there was that kind of breeding happening a decade and a half ago, where there was a lot of that kind of fruity, like people were into that.
Yeah.
The cookies and the glue and all of that stuff, just a different direction, really into those flavonoids, you know, and
Yeah.
pulling those way out and slamming people in the face with them.
Right.
But those florals kind of went away. Like
Yeah.
DJ's Blueberry back in the day was my jam.
Yep.
Like loved it. Or
Yep.
Grape Ape,
Grape
you know,
Ape.
loved it.
Yeah. No, that. Yeah.
I'm still looking for a real Grape Ape.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that was a cool period there.
I've got a matchbox that's old as shit, and it's full of super grape ape seeds. And so me and Chris, we don't want to pop them all at once and mess it up.
Right.
But we've been trying a few, seeing what they are. So I'm hoping to find that old, like, good grape ape in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, there is a good grape ape. One did exist.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
can specifically remember that high.
Yeah.
When you had the good one.
Yeah.
Like it was a really.
The grape
killer-
is a fantastic terpene profile.
Yeah.
You know, for me, like yeah. You know, like particularly like for evening times and stuff, you know, and, you know, yeah. Sleeping, relaxing,
Super sleepy, but
kicking
it's like-
back, you know, on the couch,
Yeah.
mellow. You
The
know,
terpene
like,
profile is a lot like the Doctor Who grape Haichu cut, though. Like
Yeah.
that fake
It
grape.
is.
Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
so good. And super sleepy. It's like best for like when you got a bowl of homemade popcorn, you want to sit on the couch and smoke some grape ape and you
Exactly.
just feel good.
So nice.
Yeah. So for right now, we're closing in on about an hour of the first segment. So I think
Wow.
we're going to go ahead and take a break here real quick. And
went fast.
after we take a look at the meat situation, we will be right back. All right. And welcome back to Jacquescast episode 4 with Oriah Love from Geek Farms. We are here discussing. We just got done eating some teriyaki beef, which was fantastic. Smoked on Andy's propane shell smoker.
Propane shell smoker.
Isn't that what it
It
is?
used to be a propane tank.
Yeah. It's huge.
Oh, the one out there.
Yeah. We really don't need that much meat, but if you're going to turn it on, you might as well fill it up, right?
We gotta
Oh,
time
totally.
the meat and the podcast a little better next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this just like the regular
That was
thing?
an hour and
Come to the
20.
podcast, you get meat?
Well, that's what we
That's
attract
what
them
it
with.
seems like it's gonna be. Unless we get an
So-
office. How are we gonna do it if we get an office to do this?
it's a trend.
We'll have
I
to
don't
do it
know.
like the day
How are we
before.
gonna? That's not.
If the sound is right today, I mean, this is pretty rad. I like sitting outside.
Yeah, it's nice
How's the
being
wind
out in
sound?
the wind.
Did you do any tests while you're
Yeah,
during break?
I didn't hear any wind or anything.
No, it sounded really good.
Yeah.
I guess it's good when you don't use the camera.
If anything, we
Like,
might be a little loud,
that's
That would
better.
be.
which is fine because people can just turn the volume down.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got the adjustment.
Yeah. So, no, it's pretty rad. So, anyways, as we left from break, I think we kind of got into the CBD stuff, which is great. Like we were saying, back then it wasn't anywhere near what it is now. Even on like a world level,
No way.
there was probably maybe a dozen of us maybe. Like,
I mean, that seems crazy, but
yeah.
Or
And,
just CBD people.
maybe, yeah.
That were just, that's all they're doing.
it
That's
wasn't-
rare.
It was very rare. And now it's like with the hemp and everything that's happening, it's like everybody's a CBD expert all of a sudden.
Yeah.
you know?
Everyone.
Let's hold that.
Yeah, and it's weird watching this kind of industry evolve around us. That, like, you know, it's not new to us. It's nothing
Right.
novel about
It's
it. Like, this is
old.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Also, like, talking about news stuff, Canada.
Right.
Way to go! Thumbs up.
Yeah, that's
Right.
fucking awesome.
Totally legal.
It's out. It's
Yeah.
when does it go into effect? October?
I don't remember. It's still a while, but it's not like it's legal now and
No,
everybody's
but
smoking in the
October
streets. But
17th, something like that.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got that on your fridge?
No, but I remember the day. I
Yeah.
remember watching a lot of what happened.
Which is freaking awesome. Good
Yeah.
for them.
So
Yeah.
good. Yay.
Some common sense.
We need more.
And that story in England about the child with the seizures is just going viral.
Yeah.
Like
As it should.
I don't understand why people like how you could have an argument after that.
A lot of people do.
It has nothing to do with the effectiveness of the treatment. It has everything to do with control of the people and finances.
Yeah.
Money, man.
Bottom line's money.
Who's getting
Yeah.
paid?
Nobody gives a
Like,
fuck.
you know,
Where's my money?
if you can grow an effective medicine for cheap yourself at home that really treats
where it's
you
at.
like, why would a pharmaceutical company want that to be okay?
Right.
Like, you know, it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, but no, it's good that that there's the clarity and the light being shined on this situation. That, like, it's ugly that it had to get as far as it got, though.
Right.
Like,
The
either this
child's
kid's gonna
suffering.
die,
Right.
or we're gonna get him his oil.
Right.
And,
And
like,
can you imagine that midnight hour as a parent?
I
Just like this isn't
No.
this may not
Like,
work
I
out.
can't even imagine. Like, that would be so rough. I'd be, like,
And then mad.
in
Like
some
when they gave in.
extremes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Tough.
And the Farm Act is rolling right on through.
Yep.
The CBD portion got left in. That one guy, Greenlee, I believe was his name.
Is it the guy from Iowa or Illinois?
Yeah, Iowa, I believe.
Came in at the
tried to put
last
in
minute.
anti-CBD legislation into it. But I think really the intention of legalizing hemp as a crop, I think people like, you know, I never want to side with McConnell, but I think what we're seeing is he knows the value of the crop. He doesn't really care about the crop being used for good things, but he sees the value of the crop, and the people voting for him
Yep.
that are farmers, because there's a lot of them that live there in
Right.
Kentucky. Tobacco as a crop is going out,
Right.
and that was kind of the big cash crop. What are you going to do? Grow corn and soybeans
Yeah,
and
dude.
just lose your ass every year?
Right.
But with this hemp, had they have taken the CBD out, then it's a textile crop and a hemp nut crop, which isn't really worth that much money comparatively to anything else. It's on the level. But with CBD and the way that it is now, it'll level out at some point, but it's always going to hold a premium, you know. And if it's a nationally, everybody can use it in the country, and it's a product you can put into all the stores, all of a sudden you're creating a crop that can be grown to scale like other crops. But also it has a side effect of having a product that you could make out of it that actually holds value, like, and maintains value.
Right.
Maybe we see oil go down to $1,000 a pound, $800 a pound, you know, 2,000 a kilo or something like that. Still infinitely more valuable than a corn crop
sure.
or a soybean
Yeah,
crop.
a pound
Or,
of soy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a pound of soy go for? 8 cents?
8 cents.
Yeah, something like
This
that.
last, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know versus a pound of oil how much acreage you have to do to get a pound of oil. I know that.
Well,
but,
we grow beasts.
but how much acreage you have, how much space you get a pound of soybean out of, I'm sure it's
Right.
much smaller. But I never see the 8 cents a pound or the 10 cents a pound or
Right.
whatever catching up to
Right.
the value of. So, do I hate that they're taking things that were kind of created in this vein to help people and taking that away from those people and putting it into other people's hands to make money in a greed rush? Like, yeah, of course. But am I stoked for the ability to everybody have access to CBD and be able to make choices about which kind of CBD products they want to use and how it's going to help them or help people. Awesome.
Right.
Like getting it into the hands of people that need it is the most important thing. And as for people like us, it is ridiculously illegal to like even think about doing any, like you can't do it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary.
So good for the government. That's some sort of common sense thing. Seems like in the realm of cannabis and hemp, there's a lot more common sense kind of things happening worldwide. So that makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
I'm stoked about it.
We're moving that direction, you know.
Yeah.
Like one step. Well, not we in particular, but as a world. You know, and
it's never going to look the way we want it to look.
But like, you know, at the same time,
But good enough.
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm driving into work into Salem, you come in and there's billboards that just say live resin available at.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe once in a while we should reflect that we've come a long way.
Sure.
A long way. I never thought I'd see a live resin.
in a relatively short amount of time. You
Right.
know, like
Let alone in my lifetime.
I
Yeah.
had that first Eugene billboard, dude. I was balling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
it's like as fuck.
Yeah. On Railroad Avenue back in the day,
Nice.
right in front of the shop.
Sounds
Our
like it's
shop was
off
kind of hard
Monopoly.
to see, so I dropped a billboard out there right along the railroad tracks. Yeah, and it's gone from that to it's like you can't go down a street without seeing a Weed Maps billboard anymore.
Or you drive
Yeah.
down I-5 and you see Seeds Here Now.
Yeah.
James Bean.
That
which is
dude's
just surreal.
That dude's got his foot on the gas.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
He is
just
aggressive.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the one down the street that says, "Do you know that marijuana is addicting?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
With
have
that
a-
little
Every
sad
day.
kid
With
on
the
it.
kid,
Yeah.
that
Right.
one.
Every day, it just
So
makes me
I
angry.
pulled over. I pulled
Makes
over
me
and they've
mad.
got a camera
Yep.
on that.
Yeah.
I just pulled over to look at it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do nothing. I don't have a paintball gun in my trunk.
There's a camera on it though.
There's a camera on it.
Huh.
They're waiting. It's a trap.
Really?
It's a trap.
That's funny.
It's a
There's been more than one time I've thought in my head,
Like, I'm going to burn it.
like if I was a more rebellious fellow,
Yeah. Every time I drive by, I don't want to do it.
yeah.
Well, what do you think about the legitimacy of what he's saying? You know, like, what was he taught about
He
cannabis?
doesn't know anything. He was told to stand there and hold a sign.
Yeah.
Who? Oh,
The kid in the
Oh,
back.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fake.
yeah.
There's no way that that kid is addicted to marijuana. Like that's. I mean, to me, I don't.
How old do you
that's
think he is? 14?
in
I
that
s-
one?
I
I thought
smoke-
it was 12.
I smoked weed when I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
I
on
wouldn't
the
say I
mean
was addicted
streets.
to it, but
That's what I'm saying.
it made Dungeons and Dragons a lot better.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Or Magic the Gathering cards, you know, made it, weekends were a lot more fun.
This makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it comes down to what is the weed addiction, you know, like, and yeah, I don't know, like even to me, like even though like I know like, you know, you're not, well, anyway,
What?
it's like a healing thing, you know, like
Yeah.
whether you want it to be or not, like it's going into
I
your
guess
body.
I'm also
and, like,
addicted to vitamins.
right, yeah, I'm
Right,
addicted
like-
to
and
water.
water.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like okay, you know what I mean?
How dare you?
Yeah,
just want
like I
more
hope
and
at
more.
some point, you know, we come to where that like it's looked at more of like a vitamin, you know, that like
Right.
goes into your body and is good.
Well, right,
for
like
you,
we were talking
you know?
earlier, and you're like, so you don't get use weed during the day, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
no. I was like, oh, well, I take my oil every day.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, so you're eating a
Me too,
large amount of
exactly.
cannabinoids every day. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
right.
I take that with my vitamins, and like
But
it's just part of my
It's 'cause
what I
that's
do.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were talking about how like people assume that we're always just lit. Like I have this, I meet people and they're just like, man, you just must be lit 24/7. No,
I can't exist like
I can't
that.
do
No.
that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and even for me,
I mean, I can.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're a
working
special
my way
beast,
back
though.
from this bed. Like I was always like an 8 o'clock, start smoking.
Yeah.
And like I've been moving that back a little further because I'm, but there's that balancing point of like I ain't gonna get anything done. Like that
Totally.
like that Scooby.
It depends on the strain though. For me, like, yeah, which is I like personally, I like more sativas during the daytime.
Yeah, like
you know,
you've got-
because I can
you've got
blaze them
Jack
and,
today.
and fucking move. You know, like I
Right.
can still like jam shit.
Well, yeah,
out,
because if you
know?
don't stop, if you stop, your heart's gonna explode. So you just gotta go, 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 go.
No, well, but when you need to go, go, go. No, like it's, there's obviously a difference for some people, like certain terpenes will trip them out or whatever. But for me, for the most part, like I'm pretty damn good with most sativas, as far as like I can take that energy and use it. You know, like.
But have you noticed the market? Like when I go into dispensaries, I don't see the pure sativas. I'm seeing hybrids,
not
and
pure
indicas.
sativas.
Well, you know what I mean. But you're seeing mostly hybrids
because the market doesn't compensate properly
for the time it takes.
Those.
Yeah, like real sativas.
If people on the market understood, hey, I want these real sativas,
Right.
but I understand they can take 14 to 16 weeks, twice as long
Right.
as a normal hybrid strain that most people are growing,
Right.
and pay that double
It's got to be worth
for
more.
that strain, then you would see more people growing unique things like that.
Right.
But the market and sadly the consumer base largely haven't figured that out yet. You know, that's it. But it's all about education. You know, I've got the purple space over in my yard, and I'm not telling pit bull stories here. Like, it finishes in under 50 days. So of course I grow it, you know, because it just gets done.
Yeah. There are some of those, which is really
Wow.
useful.
So we're like, everybody turn off your phones today.
I did.
Ju-
That's an alarm from I don't know when.
Seriously, dude.
I need to get a box to put it in. Just so he's checking his.
Yeah.
And what else I got?
It's like in the movie theater when you hear somebody's
I'm
phone
that
go
guy.
off and you bust it out and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm that guy. It's usually a
Not
message.
me.
But yeah, once the value of understanding that I mean, I think the alcohol world has it figured out. Like, if you want to get an aged liqueur
Right,
of some
right,
sort, that
yeah.
it's going to cost more than some grain alcohol that's flavored, you know, like, so hopefully that makes sense at some point. You want to pop that door open?
Let her out.
Yeah,
Right.
she's not going to stop. I do really enjoy growing sativas that take a long time. Like, I do not like the high from it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people in my life do, and I don't mind growing that variety. The issue is that if you're trying to pay the bills with that variety,
Right,
you're going to
right.
grow a pound of it, and generally those super sativa dominant, super long going plants aren't the prettiest weed in the world.
No, it's ugly.
Yeah, it's all about effect, you know. So when
Yeah.
you grow a pound of that and you bring it into a shop and you got kind of those wispy sativa buds, you know, that are kind of spaced out and just viney looking, you know, and like it's got that kind of old world look to it.
Yeah.
People they're like, oh man, and you're like, then you walk in and you say, this is $4,000 a pound because it took me 16 weeks to grow.
Right.
Like,
Get out of here.
yeah, leave. I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah,
you
nobody's
know?
going to buy that.
Yeah. But, you know, it's community education and figuring it out. I hope someday people can specialize in unique things
Right.
like that and do it. How many times I see somebody saying, oh man, we got Panama Red and, you know, it finishes in 63 days. And you're like, well, I don't know.
Then no, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think the market will figure it out. What's the window?
too.
Do you guys keep a pretty tight window on your stuff? What your
As far as
So, like, when you're pheno hunting, like, where's your cutoff when it doesn't make sense anymore?
I don't know, like the East Coast is about like as long as we have taken things so far, you know, which is like 75 days, you know. Generally, like we take the Who somewhere between 65 to 70,
Yeah.
you know, so like really, yeah, 70 days is not that scary, you know, but
Yep.
like it's once you get into like 80 and 90 and stuff, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a long time to risk it. Too.
yeah. Personally, like, yeah, I hope that we get there too, you know, in terms of like, we get to the educational point to where that, you know, not a bunch, but like some farms doing some really long sativa stuff and getting compensated right for it. Like, I think that's in the cards at some point, you know, just like yeah,
Maybe
just
if
like
you-
alcohol, like you said.
Maybe
It's just
if you
an
did it
evolution.
on a really small level right now.
Right,
Just
like
like a
one farm
micro
doing, like-
tier grow, and that's
Right.
what you do. And find a store that is intelligent enough to understand
Yeah.
that, like, this stuff is expensive for a reason. And
Right.
Which
maybe
we're
get a cult following.
yeah,
you know?
we're not there yet, I don't think, in terms of a market. Like, we're still super about the THC numbers, you know, and
So,
you know, which like I know you guys have talked about before, but like, yeah, between that and bag appeal right now is really just the defining
It's just
Bag of
factors in the market. You know,
Bag appeal right now is it brown or is it green?
I go
well,
into
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
like, is
stores
it
and
purple?
I go
You
to a
know,
lot
like
of
people are
stores.
like,
Well, if
is
they
it
see purple,
Yeah,
oh my
is it
God.
purple? And,
No, what I'm
and-
saying is you go to the store and you open up the jars and some of that stuff's been sitting there so long it's starting to degrade to brown in the jar.
Totally.
And
Yep.
like,
Starting to.
Which is gross. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, dude.
80% of the stuff on the shelves in stores
I did. I
is brown.
The other day,
That might be being nice.
and it
this
smells.
weekend
It's got that cat pissy smell to it, where it's like degrading and off gassing all of its goodness. And
Not
Yeah.
good cat piss.
Yeah, not the
not
not
good
the San Diego
hot
cat
cat
piss,
piss.
No.
but
cat piss that's been in the carpet for 3 weeks and it
Shitty
gets
old
wet
weed.
again. and- yeah, it's just gross.
The sun comes through the window, just amps it up that little bit.
it's an evolution thing, I think. You know.
Well, and I've said it before, there needs to be dates. Like, I know they put dates on stuff, but there needs to be like a expiration.
sure.
Expiration. Like, this is expired.
Yeah.
Like, quit selling this to people.
For
Right.
sure.
Yeah, but they're gonna if they.
But there's
ever
no
do
way to-
that, it's gonna be like a year to start or something. They're not gonna be able to do it.
A year is fine. Then pull it off the shelf and they can blast it or turn it
That's
into
a good
edibles.
starting point. Really, like
Some of the shit sitting on the
Yeah, you
shelves.
gotta be able to reprocess it. You gotta be
Yeah,
able to
sure.
process
Take it, but take it
without-
off the shelves and turn it into edibles. I don't
Yeah,
care.
distillate.
Just people shouldn't be smoking that.
right.
You know,
There
who
is
knows?
an
Just work
expiration
that out
date.
with the supplier and everything. You know, that's just
I would like to take one of those strains that's just like the solid brown sitting on the shelf, been there for a year and a half, 2 years, and do a microbial on it.
Yeah, retest it.
Yeah, see what's happening in there because I bet you it ain't pretty.
You'd fuck shit up. Like that would really wreck some people's inventory, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It would.
Yeah, it's just gross. Gross.
that's actually a good idea. Make them retest the flour if you want to keep it as flour.
Every X amount of
Right now, microbials really isn't a thing, though.
Yeah,
Mold
right.
tests isn't really a thing. In medical, it was way more stringent
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
what we were allowed to even
Right.
have.
which was fantastic.
Now you can be moldy and buggy and still pass your test.
Yeah,
Just
it's
don't
true.
spray it with poison.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they got to give the oil fields a chance.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so that's what's sitting on the shelves for a year and a half and
Yeah.
is degrading and
I was surprised
just
this
further
week how many
expanding the
were
mold
brown.
that was already on it.
Nasty.
But then sometimes you go into the store. This stuff, I was at Coastal Cannabinoids, and
Where's that at?
that is in Waldport,
Yeah.
up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
Andrew Matthews.
Great shop.
And I went in there, and so this stuff I got two things that like I normally wouldn't go for: platinum cookies and
when
Gorilla
you
Glue.
told me, I
You
was
know,
like, what?
Not me.
Yeah.
Like, but I went in there and I was like, "What's the most indica effect thing you have?" And I went through a lot of his jars, fresh,
Yeah.
freshness.
Yeah.
And I was
Nice.
like, maybe it's just because he got his license recently. He hasn't had a chance to let his stuff go bad.
No, I've been talking with him,
Yeah.
and they have a fairly good high turnover on their product.
That's what
Plus,
it's
like
about.
what I'm trying to set up with him
Summer's just
is,
starting.
But I got
Yeah.
this. I got this
Yeah.
stuff for cheap.
yeah,
Wasn't all that expensive. The high on it, the terpenes are pretty much non-existent. But the
But-
high on it's fucking great
Right.
for me.
Is it your classic-
Super
it's
low
the
anxiety and
cookies?
sleepy.
the cookies one?
yeah.
It's a platinum gorilla.
Oh, it's a cross.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
a cookies cross
The
gorilla.
best of both.
Okay, yeah.
And super frosty and like well priced. Like
Yeah.
I will spend
What'd
money
it run?
on that. You know,
What was it running a gram?
Yeah.
I got an ounce for 160. And I mean, did you check it out? In the little glass jar there with the purple top?
The purple top jar there.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
For $160 an ounce, like what is happening?
Right, like
Because
why
what's
would you-
what's the farmer getting paid for that?
Well,
yeah.
$80 an ounce?
They triple everything deal without the store,
Yeah.
don't they?
I don't
At
know.
least. I can smell it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that I say that because there's some out there that like, I'd never smelled.
looks
that
better
from
than
here.
it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you said that.
So
I'm
I
sure
was-
the effect is like
I was
right where
stoked
you
going
need it
to a
be.
little store, and really the Oregon coast, if you've never been there, is kind of the middle of nowhere esque. Like,
oh yeah.
there's
The land-
bastions of places. The most beautiful place in the world, as
Yeah,
far
unless
as I'm
You want to
concerned.
go see awesome shoreline, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, going into a store there and not being disappointed by what I saw
Right.
was awesome.
Because like coffee's hard enough to get at the coast. Right.
I noticed that they have their own coffee roasters at the coast now.
Yeah,
And
I
like
would.
a million microbreweries.
Right.
A
does
million.
that make it ocean grown coffee? OG coffee.
I mean, it would. Sure.
Yeah.
Such crap. Just such crap. I hate that story.
You guys pretty much grow on the coast, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're inland to the point where the coastal fog doesn't really hit us,
Kind of blows over the top,
which is
doesn't it?
fantastic, you know? Well, I don't know. Like, there's Grand Ronde that gets stuck in a cloud like a huge chunk of the year, you know? But where we are, like, in reality, like, it's a pretty good spot just in terms of, like, not being too coastal weathery. You know, like, it still is, but it's almost, you know, mountain-ish, you know,
Do you get the not a lot of heat?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving from the valley to the coast every day during the summer is like you're going from, you know, 90 to 75.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's good.
Probably helps a lot with the electricity bills, too.
That, yeah. And the pollen count is a lot lower, too.
Yeah.
It was weird for me when I realized where the farm was. Like, when I went to visit the very first time.
Yeah.
I used to fish right across the street
Oh, really?
all through school.
Yeah, there's a lot
And
of
I'm like,
people fish
no
that.
shit. Like, this is, you know how things progress in your life. You're like, this
Totally.
almost seems like it's meant to be. Like, you
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? Like, I love this area.
Reminiscing.
Yeah. Weird. Good memories
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but still, you know, it's a trick, you know, doing it in a greenhouse even, you know, out there.
What's the humidity like?
You know, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what the humidity is like most of the time during like the summer. You know, it doesn't feel like that much more humid,
But no,
really.
no terrible mold issues.
You
or
know,
anything?
but well, really, like we keep our environment, you know, set. You know, like even in the greenhouses.
Yeah.
You know, like we got dehues and fans and like venting. You know, and it's like an all day, every day, making sure, you know, it's as tight as we can make it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so that doesn't have as much of an effect, but still, like you hit third week in September, you know, October, and it's like shit's rolling in.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
start watching, you know,
better-
start
well, that's-
watching careful.
That's the same for the valley, too.
It
if
is,
you're not
though.
getting close to finishing up at that point, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why, to me, like around here, if you're not light depping, you're running a risk, a
Yeah.
big risk. You
Yeah.
know, like
Or you
yeah,
just-
whether it's like commercial, you know, or whether it's your home backyard grower, like get light depping, in my opinion. You know, like avoid the mold, get better sunlight,
Yeah.
get better looking flowers. You know, start depping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's work.
Well, yeah, but like if you time it right.
Right.
So if you start depping in mid-July, you can dep for like 2 to 3 weeks until the 1st of October or fucking August, right?
Right.
And then you can just let it go, and then it'll finish
Yeah,
like
just starting it.
Yeah,
halfway
yeah,
through
yeah.
September. Yeah, you're just starting it early,
Yeah.
you know, so that you can avoid the.
Maybe I'll do that at the house this year with my medical plants.
It's totally worth
just
it.
drag them inside into a dark space every day.
Yeah, some people do that, you know, or you could build like a basic hoop to just like drag a
That
pan
sounds
of
like
film over.
effort and
That's what I'm
money.
saying.
It is.
Yeah. Like,
It
people
is.
don't like that.
But it makes a big difference.
Oh, easy ups over the plant. It'll work.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we were kind of talking about your genetics, and I want to make sure we hit that before we go too crazy long. With some of your new gear coming out, how the tester's been coming back? I know I got some 98s and some Death Stars and some Strawberry Coughs all across the River Song, but it
Yeah.
seemed like you did quite a catalog of.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I don't know. I'm a flavor fiend. You know, like I want to do a bunch of different stuff, and so yeah, I just ended up hitting a whole bunch of stuff with our River Song mail, which, you know, we went through quite a number of beans just to, you know, try to find, you know, kind of a who dominant one, you know, but that still carried the blueberry terp profile, you know. And I think we hit it pretty hard, you know, just in terms of like with the hunts that we got going so far, you know. Most of the things are probably going to end up somewhat blueberry-y, you know, or at least like, yeah, some of the phenos will definitely end up like that sweet blueberry profile, you know. But there were some different things, that I was wanting to just use the sweetness from it in, and so like, I don't know, like I'm just someone who believes in mythical things, like strains that could possibly taste like strawberry, or possibly taste like grapes, and so like, so I hit the strawberry cough with the River Song Male, and my buddy Nug Buckets grew out some plants that he said hit right on into the strawberry side, like that strawberry sweet, kind of strawberry shortcake, and with blueberry maple syrup, is what he said. Or not, blueberry syrup, not maple syrup. Anyway,
So,
yeah, like
it has to be at maple syrup.
Yeah, he's all in.
yeah, I know. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so like he hit some strawberry in that, and so as soon as I heard that, I just got even more excited.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, like I have huge goals of I want to like lock down strawberry, like I want to lock down in seed form grape. I want to lock down in seed form.
What cut of the strawberry? Are you
Lemons
using?
and oranges. So this one was the strawberry cough. Fucking
Like Cushman's?
yeah, Cushman's strawberry cough. Yeah.
It was so weird that, man, I had the strawberry cough forever, right? Like, that's an oldie.
Yeah.
And then becoming, like, really good friends with Kyle Cushman and, like, hanging out with him, go to his birthday and
Right,
stuff,
yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like,
You're like, what?
asking him all about it, and,
Seen
like,
that.
just assumed that he had made that strain, right?
Oh,
Like,
right.
No,
And
he
he's
didn't
like,
make
nah,
it.
yeah, he just brought it from the East Coast back to
Yeah.
here and handed
Yeah.
it out. Yeah. Cool
Right.
guy, but that's like, that genetic was my jam for a while. I loved the strawberry. Well, the first strain I ever, like, really enjoyed that I had put together was, we were talking about the Grape Ape.
Yeah.
Grape Ape
Yeah.
Strawberry Cough.
Wow.
And
wow.
dude.
it helped me so much. Was super anti-anxiety strain.
What did you
Love
call
it.
that one?
The Nerds.
I remember
Yeah.
that when you first came out with that
Yeah.
at the guild. I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's old school.
Super good.
Came out, it was really lavender colored buds when it came out,
Yeah.
and just I wouldn't even say fruity, florally, like,
Oh, right.
like lavender
Which I love that,
flowers,
too.
and it was so good, so relaxing. It was a really nice
Wow.
strain.
Yeah.
I still got one pack of those seeds that exist from back.
That
in
could
the
be the
day.
winner.
Oh, I don't know,
That
but
could be. You could be like, what was it, Doctor Who? The first 5, you nailed it
Dude, yeah. Mike and Andrew popped a 5-pack,
and caught it.
and
that's where that cut came from. Was out of a 5
this
pack?
was
insane.
this was their second choice too. Like they
Really?
had one that they liked better, but I think it died, and so they ended up with this one.
What kind of gambling pack
Right,
was that?
right.
They
I
should have
know.
bought a lottery ticket.
Right?
Well, that's
no,
what I'm
they
saying.
blew their load on that one.
Yeah, but it was like, it was kind of early, like, yeah, it was a 5-pack.
I
Who
assumed it
gets
would have been a
that?
Like in-
story of Odie brought over a mason jar full of
Right,
5,000
right.
seeds,
Oh, yeah.
and we toiled for years.
right.
Fought.
Now you guys just instantly got the fucking alpha
First
cut.
5 pack.
Well,
Awesome.
see, but the thing is, like, I think that's just in the genetics, in my opinion. Like that's just, that's a nod to homegrown natural wonders. Because in my opinion, the male that I hunted and found of Doctor Who back in the day when I first crossed it with, Mike's Blue Jay and a few other cuts, right? I just went for structure. Mostly, because like lots of this really is just like I'm just playing, out of
Yeah.
my backyard and like hoping for things, and I want things. And anyway, so this male I just selected out of, I think it was 25 beans. I selected a male mostly for structure, and it just threw badass fucking genes up into those things that I hit, that is like still carrying on, like that's like bringing frost and structure through the River Song crosses and well into everything else, and so
Sometimes you
That is
find that male though that just, it's like
The All-Star.
it
Certainly.
goes good with everything. I have that Fire Alien Kush 4,
Yeah.
fourth male I dealt with from that, and that was from Rascal.
yeah.
And that male makes anything better.
It touches.
Just make it. Just,
Yeah.
The river song's that way. It seems like you can't go wrong.
Well, but it's really dominant in the blueberry terp profile.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like to me, like one thing that is really awesome about a male, and which is why probably Homegrown Nature's Wonders Time Wreck male is one of my favorite males in the seed game period, because he just brings frost and structure and potency, but he lets the terp profile of the moms
Yeah.
come through. You
That's
know,
exactly
and so like
how that
happens a lot
Fact
of
4
times.
is. It brings
Yeah.
the good bud structure. It brings ultimate frost.
Yep.
But it's so muted in terpenes that whatever you breed it to, just that dominates.
Which is
whatever.
great.
Yeah,
Like
love it.
that's a fantastic.
Well, that's
male.
why I'm talking, when I was talking about the CBD project, my magic male that turns everything CBD that it touches has 0 terpenes.
Yeah.
So it makes it so
Right.
easy for me to do these
Shoe it
projects
in.
where I want to make this CBD.
Baller.
It doesn't give anything out other than ratio,
Yeah.
which is
Oh.
fantastic.
It's
Right,
as
right.
good as it
It's-
gets to me
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really good anyway. Yeah.
What else you got coming?
So
What's going to be on the farm out of these new crosses
No,
you did?
if-
What have you chosen?
yeah, so well we're still hunting, you know, like we got our genetic hunt ground, which is now one of our big greenhouses, right? And so we have a whole bunch of those River Song crosses. So far, my favorite ones out of them are probably the Slick Rock, which is a pre-98 Bubba, that's just turning out like monster structure, you know, like great node spacing, you know, which is like, yeah, you know, the kind of the opposite end of the Bubba, right? You
Right.
know, but it's gaining the bone from it, you know, so it's like big, thick, you know, bony branches that are just like holding huge wide leaves. Yeah, I'm
So
really stoked on that one.
So I made a good choice when you asked me what do I want.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish when I came out once, I saw that the Slick Rock. It's like they're like tubes.
Dude, they're chunky.
They're just like the stem are just tubes. It's like it's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
you can really stack weight on that.
Yeah.
And it could take it.
Yeah, exactly.
know,
Yeah,
it was
which is dope to me.
Yeah,
you know, it's important. You know, to be able to hold fat flowers.
Yeah.
You know, and not like fall all over the place.
It was at that ungainly point where it hadn't really flowered that much, you know, and it was like mostly tube, you know, and I was like, wow, kind of like a prepubescent, you know, where you're like, it's got a honky voice and clunky, but it's like, this thing is going to be incredible.
beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think probably one of the most I'm excited about is the cross with the Durban, just like for flavor.
Are you a Durban guy?
I love Durban. I just
course he
wish
is.
it was more potent
It was a slow pitch.
and longing. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because like yeah,
I'm
I
gonna-
fucking love Durban. I love the high. I love that racy like
Go, go, go.
fucking kick ass. Yeah. I love it. And the terp spectrum that's within it is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, I love that, but I just can't smoke it.
Right.
It's a love.
Yeah,
hate. It's
for
like,
sure. Yeah, it's definitely
nightmare
not
fuel.
not for everybody,
know.
but I
I'm
think.
so glad I could smoke any of that.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, me too. I know. Like I hear people
It's a
say that. I'm
great
like, I'm
strain. It's a
sorry, man.
great
That
smoke.
sucks for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Smoked urban and clean my house.
Exactly,
You know,
dude. I will jam through some shit. You know, and I love that. But like I think mixed with like the blueberry side, you know, from the River Song could turn out some
That would be good.
awesome stuff.
Very interesting.
Maybe.
crashing of terpenes.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's a hard crash. Which to me, like, that's how you get a lot of the really unique stuff too. Like for example, when you crash citrus with grape, you can get a lot of amazing stuff that just will come out. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like crashing
I
terpenes
love
together.
skunks and fruits.
Yeah.
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 To make
fruity skunk?
Totally.
no, I like it when you get the rotten. Turns out like rotten fruit.
Oh,
Yeah, totally.
Wow, right.
Yeah.
Good sour
Like
beer.
almost bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
something is almost off. Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's gone too far. but-
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
And then-
almost pooey.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I always go back to Tahoe OG when we talk about that cut of Tahoe Chris had going around, and like
Is that the homeless man's mouth?
just rotten. It smelled like rotten mouth. Like the worst.
Wow. Yeah.
But how fantastic, right?
Yeah.
When you smell it, you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. But
Yeah.
you don't stop smelling it. you
Yeah.
know?
John might
Those
be
are
here.
some of my favorite ones, dude. definitely. I see. I grew a cut of. At the time, we were calling it Jammy Dodger, but it was just
Jammy Dodger.
Yeah, it's just Odie's Timerec male against the Forum Girl Scout, and I grew them out. See, some that Mike and Andrew gave me actually, and one of them was black, was like totally black, and was just frosted to the hilt, which you can imagine between the two, right? But
Yeah.
but the smell.
Did the frost show on that black? A lot of times with
right.
those black strains I
They'll
grow,
hide it.
like it hides the frost.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah,
but you rarely remember like the old blackberry Kush cut that went around, and not the blackberry Kush most people are used to now. Was this cut and it just auto flowered? Like
Yep.
24-hour lights, it was still
Yep.
flowering. But the frost on that thing, and it was dark purple, but the frost shone on the surface.
it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I still kind of want to play that cut if it's still in existence.
I don't know anybody that has it because everybody got so sick of trying to get it in any state
sure.
of veg.
Yeah,
You know.
it's like it's a breeding tool that you struggle to keep happy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what she is. But like to me, like
That was in the Oregon Diesel though, right? Yeah.
Yep. Which is what makes it such a kick-ass breeding tool, in my opinion. You know, and like that's why.
So I've still got seeds that I did with that blackberry Kush. I did it with the Fire Alien Kush, and also I crossed it with the white, and I still have seeds of those.
Sweet.
The white
Yeah.
blackberry Kush is pretty rad.
Yeah, I bet
but
it is.
it notoriously tests 14 to 16%. So people are like, "Oh, what a pay
Oh,
money
yeah,
for
I
that,"
can't- I
but you're
can't
like,
sell it.
"But
Right.
it's rad."
Right.
You
Yep.
know, but people pay per percentage. So
Yeah, dude.
It's terrible.
You know, like I think we might ultimately phase out the head Dr. 11 cut that we all
What?
loved just because it's
so
lower
dank.
testing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
looks amazing. It's like one of the frostiest plants that we have. Yeah, that we grow, but it doesn't barely test over 20%.
it's
you
so
know, like-
sad that just that THC number matters.
Right.
Yep.
Not
It's a
everything else
major
happening.
factor.
It is.
You know, right now it is. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate in my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
But
I
we'll
think
get
a
there.
lot of good strains get shelved or even removed. Like
lost.
maybe at some point we should start a strain preservation society.
Well, yeah, or we should do like
because
the Pepsi
he gets a
challenge.
hold of me one day and he's like, "Dude, you got that purple Urkel?" And it's like one of those strains that we just kind of held on to forever, but like
Yeah.
it didn't
Right.
sell well because the test results were low. But I
Yeah.
love it.
Right.
And so finally we removed it. And he's like, and I'm like, I did, but the
She's
one
the queen of
clone I
everything
was
great.
trying to make died for him. And I was
Oh.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
like, I don't have any more. I can't help you. And he's like, and that's why I'm looking for
I'm
it.
gonna find it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it.
I think when I met you guys, I was leaving once, and I said, "Anything you guys want if I'm out and about?" And Andrew was like, "Purple Urkel, just
yeah,
deadpan.
real
Real
legitimate,
purple Urkel.
clean, which is one of the hardest things, obviously, and scariest things, really, which is why it's hard to like, you know, even look for, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking confident within my heart, I'm gonna find purple
Yeah.
Urkel in a clean state and be able to work some grape, you know, because to me, she's the queen of grape.
Yeah.
You know, like almost every great grape strain that's ever come about has come from Urkel.
Yeah.
You know, like somewhere down the line. You know,
Yeah.
I love the plant, but it tests at 12%.
yeah. It's a tool though. Again, you know, like to me, like that's not your like everyday strain that like everyone's gonna keep. That's a breeder's tool. You know.
You're right. Then that's what you need is a breeder.
You know what's weird though
Yeah.
is when I go into a shop, out of the last 5 types I've bought, whenever I go into a shop, I couldn't tell you what the THC is on anything I bought. I can tell you how heady it was and how it smelled and
Right.
what it looked like.
And that's what it's
I
supposed
do
to
not
be.
like, and it's not even like a conscious thought. Like I don't even look at numbers.
I don't either.
No.
Unless it's CBD ratioed
it's
stuff. I
fucking
want to know
horse
what the
pucky anyway.
ratio is going to be. But I never look at the fucking numbers. Like it doesn't matter
Right.
to me.
Right.
Yep.
A lot of times, though, I will look at cost.
Really?
Yeah. The
See,
more
I get a-
expensive something is, the more likely I am to buy it.
Well, sure, but
Well, yeah. Totally there with you. Yeah. Like I thought you were gonna go the other direction.
Me
Like
too.
like most of the crowd does. Like I want this cheaper. You
I
know.
gotta stay in that $8 range.
But
yeah,
no.
I'm not breaking a 10.
no, dude. Yeah. Like I'm looking for the 10 plus. Why? Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be it's going to be on another level, in my opinion. And like, personally, like, I came from a time where like I was stoked about $15 grams of BC, you know, that got pinched.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever, you know. And so like
you're
now,
welcome.
yeah, dude, like it's such, see, but that's fine. I was a custy then, you know, but like,
Right.
you know, like now I can get some of the world's best flour, like, you know, for the same price.
You personally grow
Right,
the world's best flour. Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
No.
that's
And where do you go from there?
really nice. But yeah, in reality, like, you know, it's just about like taking care of the plants, you know, and caring about every single step of the process, you know. And then, yeah, I mean, there's
a lot of people say that they can do that, and then people get paid to do that, and they can't do it.
No. No.
It
right.
takes a special person to be able to,
Right.
like I can say, you know, or some grower can say, I'm going to do this every day, and I'm going to do this every day, and I'm going to do this every day. It's a commitment, and it's hard.
yeah,
Yes.
And then there's growers that do it.
I probably meet 100 great growers a month, but only like one Oriah at the end of the day.
yeah.
Like that no,
That's
for real.
too much.
They
Thanks, man.
preach it.
That's really
They
nice.
preach the organic life, and then it's all living, and they're doing they're good stewards, and
Yeah,
and then you find somewhere where it's not the truth, or their personal life. Every and for you, it's whole life. It's right down the road, right till you go to bed.
yeah.
It's a whole life thing. You live it.
It really is. Yeah, my wife gets, you know, kind of sick of weed stuff sometimes, you know,
Well,
like just
even-
because like I love it just as much at home as I do at work.
Right, but I'm
you
saying
know?
even how you
My
eat
life,
and live.
my
are-
life
are
is
right on.
engulfed by CBD.
Yeah.
It's all I do.
I bet, yeah.
Like
Right.
that's all I talk about. It's all
See,
I
but
do.
that's why you're the man
I
at it,
live
yeah.
in it, you know, and like you do with your plants, you live in it. It's not a job that you go to. It's a part of your life, and like it's
Right.
not the journey. It's the goal, you know. Like
Right.
you're in the goal, and the only way to stay there is to like keep pushing and keep working harder, and
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
and then you're just busy
How many-
all the time.
How many people
really
drive 2 hours one way to work every day?
People who are determined about their goal.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's who does.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I
like
do-
there's
I do
lots
an
of people
hour.
that do that, you
And
know.
I think, my God, 2.
Yeah, it's a long ways. I ain't gonna lie, but it's to do
Yeah, me and Andy
what I
have a
love
2-hour
on a
commute now.
daily thing. Like I am in the garden under the canopy with these plants all the time. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm with plants way more than I'm with people.
Right.
You know, and I love it every day. You know, and
Yeah.
so like to me, it's beyond worth it. You know, like
Yeah.
before I started on this journey, like really, like I used to be depressed about work, you know, and what I was doing, you know, because it wasn't fulfilling and I wasn't happy
Yeah.
in it, you know, which is a dominant part of life, really, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when I got the chance to start driving 2 hours each way every day, I fucking jumped on it, man.
Right.
Yeah, and
Why don't they set you up a tiny house there or something that you can? That's what I'm talking
you know,
about.
like I've thought about that before.
or a box
Upstairs.
You know?
Upstairs
Yeah,
in
like-
blue.
Yurt.
There was a while where I was, you know, thinking about trying to move there and stuff, but just various things, you know, like, life and owning houses and
Yeah.
and you know, things keep me from doing that. For one, you know, but for two, like I can't help it. I love Eugene.
Yeah.
You know, like
shit.
I love the area and I love the people, and you know, and so to me, like it'd be hard to leave
Well, I mean,
anyway.
you get to live right down the street from me.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
I mean,
Yep.
Did you walk here?
No, I almost did.
I know.
I almost did, but I was like,
was
well,
curious. I was
it's
gonna
getting
take
kind of
bets.
late, so I got to get over there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we should just start moving all sorts of homies into this neighborhood. Just slowly.
yeah,
take it
man.
over.
Joe's right there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I could throw a fucking
neighborhood.
rock from my backyard to his.
I'm waiting for
Do you do that?
No, I haven't yet,
should.
but
Water balloon?
now that's where it's
You
at
get a
right
water balloon
there.
over there?
I probably could. Yeah, from my backyard, I bet I could throw it into his yard, and he probably never know where it's coming from.
I'm keeping my eyes on your neighbor across the street.
He does have kids.
Oh,
though,
yeah?
so-
Yeah, as soon as he moves, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to
Oh,
hawk
yeah.
that house.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Right across the street here?
That'd
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
great for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some
So I
roommates.
mean, personally, like one day when we can get there, you know, I hope to have a Eugene area facility, you know, that I can, you know, work with Geek Farms, you know, and
Life goals.
yeah, you know, like
Would
it's
be
a
like
road, you know what I mean, and we're just, you know, we're getting there, but you know, the main focus the whole time.
I never want to leave the grow is part of the problem.
Yeah.
And so with the way the OLCC is set up and all the rules and regulations, you can't really live there in the grow.
Yeah.
But
Right.
hopefully someday I can just have like an arboretum that I have a bed in and I wake up with my plants every day.
Yeah.
I used to
Lights
do
go
that.
on, you wake up.
Yeah.
Totally.
I feel
Yeah,
you.
that'd be 12 hours of sleep, 12 hours awake. Sounds like a good day. Yeah, sure.
It's like, that's what I do.
Yeah, you're talking about like work. A lot of people that do an 8-5, or 5/8, and then they get 8 hours of their life and 8 hours of sleep, and that's like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Being a grower, being in this industry,
Yeah.
it's you got
Yeah.
6 or 7 10s or 12s or 14s, you
Yep.
know, and like
I
so if you don't like your job,
Yeah.
you're gonna become depressed
It's not
and
work.
terrible
Right.
and like hate everything real quick.
Yeah.
You know.
right.
Like last summer, I was saying if it was tomatoes, I think I'd be done with it. I'd be chopping plants down, throwing things all day.
Yeah.
At least it's weed. I'm happy about
Yep.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough life. But, you know, wheelbarrows full of gold bars, right?
Yeah, I've been.
get one
Yeah.
yet?
100%.
No, I was.
Have you seen
I
one
got
yet?
I got an
Yeah.
empty wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can move some dirt.
Yeah.
I need to restack all my gold.
Yeah.
It's getting,
All three small coins, all three Sacagawea dollars you have.
Yeah, right, right. That's the real Oregon canna right there.
Oh, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard.
I know. Like we were at a party once, weren't you at the Uncork thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I looked out the parking
Was
lot,
there.
and all of us drove sketchy cars. Nobody had like a Porsche or you know, because people have these preconceived ideas that we
Well,
make
yeah.
tons of money. And I'm like, looking out, I'm like, no,
Nope.
it's pretty normal.
Nope.
Pretty
Yep.
normal.
It's like that. Me and Odie had a conversation. I was like, dude, I haven't made it till I have a Hummer with gold rims. And next time
Gold
I
Hummer.
a gold Hummer, yeah.
Yeah.
And the next time I see him, he hands me a model kit.
That
And he's
was
like, bro,
awesome.
you've made it.
Made it.
There it is. That's what you get.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for maybe when we have him on the show, we can sit down and while we're talking, we
Oh,
can
yeah.
put the model together.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
wait for
which
that.
could be, it might be next weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
That'd be legit.
I'm hoping so.
He'll be back from that monster grow he has down there.
No.
I'm so happy for those two, man.
Yeah.
Anybody who deserves it.
Yeah, they are doing great stuff, and they're gonna be doing amazing stuff. You know that
Yeah.
I personally can't wait for. You
What is
know,
it, 2,000 lights in the breeding room?
Something like that. Yeah.
it's a dream, dude.
I'm a
That's
little-
dream.
I'm a little jealous about that.
Dude,
but,
that's why I bring it
hard
up.
jelly.
but good for them.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know, like
They
Yeah.
earned it though. That's
Yeah,
what
they
that
earned
is. You know, like maybe one day I'll earn it. You know. Yeah.
we'll get there, man.
Yep.
We'll get there. We've got a good group of close people. We'll get there sooner
Which
or
is so
later.
nice.
And if nothing else, you know, one of us wins the lottery someday. I don't know. Just
Hey,
keep,
man,
just
that'd
keep
be
swinging. Just keep swinging big. You
Yeah.
know, that's all I keep doing. Just keep swinging big. Hopefully, something sticks at some point. You
Yeah.
know, we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Nice white sandy beach with amazing fishing all around you, and
I
you
don't
know,
know. I
a
don't
giant
know.
breeding facility.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I could quit doing it.
Huh?
I don't think I could quit. I think I'd have
Quick
to have
growing,
something.
man. I'll grow to
Well, just the
Oh,
the
no.
hustle.
I'll grow to
Right.
I'm
Sport
100,
fishing
dude.
off the coast of the Key
I'd
West
do it in
and
spurts,
try
but
and
I'd have to stay in it.
Sport fishing the whole time, and then you also have a giant campus for breeding cannabis.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Well,
no,
you
I
had
don't
need
know.
a lot
team
more
of cool
money.
dudes that like water everything for you and
well,
do all the work.
Oh, yeah.
Back,
Yeah, you just show up and figure out
I
what
fucking
color
love you,
want.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
it's essentially what Shane and Odie are getting to do.
right. Exactly.
They're on Pebble Beach.
That's how you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I hate to do it, but we're at 2 hours.
Yep.
And so
Already?
that is a
Yeah.
So that's a real good
It
show.
slides. Fast.
Feels a lot better this time.
Yeah.
Like the audio, everything sounds good.
Yeah.
You are absolutely coming back.
Yeah.
It was
You're
such.
not-
Awesome.
You're
Thank
now-
you.
There's
Yeah.
a lot more I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I
but-
was thinking. I was like, I could go on and on
Yeah.
about this other
Yeah.
area, but that's how it goes.
but we'll save it for next time.
We'll see you again. Yep.
yeah, hopefully next week we have Odie on. Next
Yeah,
weekend
right.
is Dead and Company.
Holler.
So probably do some live stuff from out there.
Yeah.
May not be super high quality,
So
but
cool.
maybe
Could
bum
do
the
some
parking lot and check shit out.
Wook hunting.
Wook hunting?
Wook hunting.
Walk on to.
Yeah.
Find them wooks.
Find a nice big buck.
I heard Snodgrass is going to have a booth and
Is
he's
he
going to
really?
be blown again in the parking
I
lot.
haven't
So
seen him in forever.
you get that's so vintage, dude.
It's
Yeah,
cool as fuck.
it's like
So
watching.
vintage.
Yeah, it's like looking,
Yeah.
into the.
So I want to go and get a chicken bone or a hammer from Snotty
Yeah.
and just kind of check everything out, like with me and Dead concerts, any of them that I went to or even further festivals and stuff, kind of like what you were saying, I do love the music, but I like it in the background. And so
Right.
I would spend a lot of time out at Barter Fair or in the parking lot
right.
and just kind of like
Environment.
hanging out. I like the environment a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys are going to be there, look for us. We'll
Yeah.
be wandering around,
I'm sure
hopefully.
we're- I'm sure we're hard to miss.
Super
Fat
rad.
guys with beards.
Yeah.
Fat guys with beards.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you. This feels like a great episode. I will
Yeah.
get it uploaded
Thank you.
here in the next couple of days.
Yep.
It seems like YouTube takes about 24 hours to upload one of these.
I
so
know, right?
It's
It's
insane,
bizarre.
dude. All right, so Jacquescast signing off. I'm Adam.
I'm Oriah Love.
Jim?
I'm Andy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
and we will catch you next
Thank you.
week.